Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I might be the Raven, and I'm back doing another review. And in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we are doing Leprechaun 4 in space. I'm a huge fan of the whole Leprechaun franchise, but I do gotta admit this is actually my least favorite film of the franchise. Disclaimer, I realized after the fact that Leprechaun Origins is a thing. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, that is actually my least favorite of the franchise. But I am doing it for the review, mainly because it's just really fun to talk about. Much more fun than it was to watch, which is kind of sad because, as I said, I really like this franchise. Now, basically, this movie is aliens, but instead of the infamous xenomorph, we have Leprechaun trying to get with a space princess. It's just, I don't know who thought of, this, but it was definitely an interesting outcome. The movie opens up with us meeting all the space crew. We got it being pretty generic for the most part, and they're led by Sergeant Hooker. Honestly, that's not even, the worst name of this movie. Literally named somebody Hooker, which I wouldn't have really thought much into, but this is a Leprechaun movie, and I know they did that on purpose. But anyways, though, our whole mining operation is kind of getting messed up somehow by the Leprechaun. They never really explained how, but they're gonna go stop it and investigate, and by the request of fucking Dr. Mittenhand is his name. They are being accompanied by Dr. Reeves. They go to investigate. Meanwhile, Lep is trying to get with the space princess. She obviously does not want to date him. He just really wants to become king of her home world, get power, which he really wants. But she changes her mind and actually, she wants to date Lep. Mainly for his gold, and they both plan to kill each other later on, but you know, good for you, Lep. But sadly, their whole little love story gets interrupted when the Marines fucking just walk on into the Leprechaun's lair. I thought it was harder to find in other movies, but they just walk on in. One of the people, whose name is fucking Lucky in a Leprechaun movie, great name choice, he discovers the gold and tries to steal some from himself when Lep appears with a fucking lightsaber and off-screen kills him because it was too expensive for this movie. Now, our little Marine squad, they find Lep, they get in a little battle with him, and the Leprechaun gets blown up while he was uncharacteristically trying to save the princess. I'm pretty sure he could have succeeded in his mission without her, but he tries to save her, gets blown up, and with the approval of Sergeant Hooker, one of the Marines, whose name I believe is Karowski, just decides to pee all over the Leprechaun. And the Leprechaun's essence goes up into his penis somehow. I don't know how he doesn't get concerned, because rewatching it, it's pretty blatant that something is happening here. And he's just like, oh, well, fuck. Anyways, though, they take the knocked out Zarina aboard their ship, and I think this at the request of Dr. Mittenhand, but anyways, Kowalski goes to have sex with the girl from Home Improvement, I guess she's in this, and while they're going to have sex, the Lep returns just like the Xenomorph, but instead of busting out of the chest, he busts out of his, yeah. He does his whole little limerick shit and runs away. We also get a sequence or two with Reeves and one of the soldiers who I think his name is Books. At least that's his nickname. They have a little bit of a budding romance throughout this entire movie, where it's basically just intelligence versus macho. It's kind of obnoxious at times in the movie. But anyways, they do hold their horse stick. They find out about the Leprechaun's return. They go on a mini hunt for him. Meanwhile, Mittenhand's assistant, Hayward, literally tries to molest Zarina. What the fuck, movie? But in the process, he discovers she has regenerative blood, which is very valuable to Dr. Mittenhand. And he basically wants them to stay aboard and is using some whole business mumbo jumbo to try to keep the crew on the ship. And it is revealed that he's actually been on the ship the entire time. He's only been on a computer screen up until this point. And he is, after a whole experiment gone wrong, he's basically missing the lower half of his body. And is basically part Dalek from Doctor Who at this point. We get a few random half-decent deaths throughout this movie. Like the next little bit. One of which, luckily, is fucking Harold. I was kind of excited to see him go. He went in a pretty weird way, though. But, he gets to Zelena, awakes her Snow White style. What a bro. You go, Leprechaun. They are very much in cahoots at this point, and they mess with Dr. Mittenhand's cure for his body, combine it with like a scorpion and like a tarantula, and inject it into him. Our crew is too late to stop it, so they just go on a little hunt for him. The Lep, that is. They literally just walk away from Mittenhand with the fucking syringe still in his head. They basically go to try to find the Lep, where Zelena gives them a death sentence, which is literally just her flashing them, but whatever. Lep and Zelena escape using Sergeant Hooker as a hostage. They make him do a whole drag show and fight the crew, resulting in his death. And in honor of aliens yet again, it is revealed that he's been a robot this entire time for no reason. And yeah, he's gone. Mittenhand has at this point transformed into Mitten Spider or something like that. Like, why not like Spider Hand or something like that? They went with Mitten Spider. The Lep has initiated the self-destruct sequence. So our crew has to then stop not only Lep but Mitten Spider. They eventually stop them. And in the process of fighting Lep, they have enlarged him using a machine that they showed at 1 or 2 points in the movie. In what was just for no reason, that didn't lead to a good battle or anything. They eventually launch him out into space where he blows up. His floating hand gives them all the middle finger. So I guess he can survive. I don't know. He survived early in the movie with just like his feet. So he regenerates. He regenerated using somebody else's penis early in the movie. So I'm pretty sure if his hand can float through space, he's not dead, but whatever. They stop the self-destruct sequence, and it's all happy-dory, especially for Zelena, who actually she just gets a happy ending, I guess, in this movie, but that is all for the movie, for the most part. Overall, the movie's not the best, I will admit, especially because the next one, Leprechaun in the Hood, was actually kind of a fun watch, at least in my opinion. The special effects, especially the CGI in this movie, was god awful. It looks like something you see from like early video games. There was no need. It was just bad. There was 1 or 2 fun moments in the movie, and I think the only thing that makes this movie so much more enjoyable for me, now getting to talk about it, is just this seems so, just how ridiculous this movie is. Makes it a lot more fun for me. So I guess by getting to do this video, I now enjoy this movie a little bit more. It's still absolutely ridiculous with Leprechaun in space, the lightsabers, we got the Mitten Spider and all that. If maybe it didn't have so many boring moments like with just pointless gun battles and just a lot of waiting around in this movie, and instead of basically at times also trying to just be aliens, I think this movie actually could have at least been a much more goofier movie and much more of a fun movie if it kind of just leaned into it in the right ways, where they kind of didn't at times. Though I do gotta admit, it is still gonna be just absolutely fun to continue to get to talk to people about this movie, because it's hilarious that this movie is actually a part of the franchise. I gotta give this movie a review though, and I think I'm just gonna have to give it 2 mitten hands out of 15 mitten spiders. Not the best score, but it's a fitting one, I think. I think I'm being fair here. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Keeps me making these videos. I might have been the Raven, and be sure to have a good night. And happy St. Patrick's Day. The movie opens up with us on their mission. Anyways, though, I hate this movie.